The Agent David O. Show.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, David O, and today's topic is a catchy one. It's how to make a 20% commission as a real estate agent. And you guys probably think this is crazy. I think I'm kind of crazy by putting that in the headline as well, but it's something that can be done ethically and responsibly and legally. And I'm here to explain how this works. And many of you guys, if you're on the investor side at all, you're familiar with the concept of wholesaling. And so wholesaling, and I'll go into this first before I explain how you're going to make a 20% commission, because it'll kind of set it up and make this sound a lot more reasonable per se. But wholesaling is essentially when somebody gets a house under contract with a seller, and what they do is they want to sell that contract or sell. They can assign that contract or they can double close and do a whole new contract, but they want to sell the house that they have under contract at a higher price. So let's just use some simple math here. Let's say I've got a house under contract at $40,000 and I want to go and wholesale it for $50,000. If I go find a buyer that's willing to buy it for $50,000, I can make a $10,000 wholesale fee. This is done all the time. And, it's been done for years and years and decades. In fact, there's so many new wholesalers coming to the market and doing these things. They've actually, they've kind of lost trust with a lot of homeowners and they've screwed up a lot of things because, we're watching a YouTube video about learning how to wholesale. They go out and do it. And next thing they know, their buyer falls through and now they can't buy the $40,000 house because they never had the money to begin with. And now the seller's in a really bad place and they're trying to take legal action. Well, the legal action really isn't worth the spend to go to court to try to take somebody. And a lot of times the wholesaler is using a contract that the homeowner didn't read and that the wholesaler can just get out of that contract at any time. So it can get very dirty and very messy with wholesaling. In fact, the first deal that I purchased as an investor was from a wholesaler, and I lost my butt on that deal. The wholesaler marked it up, and I didn't find this out until months later after buying it. But when the tax records updated, it was actually wholesaled twice before it got to me. The wholesaler that sold it to me made 15 grand. The wholesaler that sold it to him made 25 grand. So these guys made all the money, and then I got left holding the bag, and I lost about seven or $8,000 on that deal, and 6 months of my life, stressing out about all the problems that were coming up. So that's a story for another day. But that kind of gave me that bad taste in my mouth with this whole wholesaling thing. And I've done some wholesales and stuff like that, and it just feels icky, right? Because one of the things that you have to do when you're wholesaling it is you've got to bring your buyer through the property, and a lot of times we're telling the homeowner that, hey, this guy is my contractor, or this guy's my insurance guy, or this guy's my appraiser, something like that. We're kind of lying about who they are because we don't want to tell them that, hey, actually, we're just flipping this contract to him and making a lot of money doing it because it sounds icky, right? And it might scare the homeowner out of even doing the deal. And so there's a lot of things like that go on in wholesaling that I just don't like. And the fact that, when when I bought that first wholesale, the wholesaler didn't tell me all of the problems that were wrong with the property, obviously. There was foundation problems, there was roof problems, there was plumbing problems, there was electric problems, there was all this stuff that he knew about that I didn't, and I went through and I bought it, and shame on me for not knowing what I was doing as a new investor. But yeah, so what I'm going to pitch you guys is when you are a buyer's agent, we can actually ethically make commissions that large as well. And we can do it in a way that serves everybody involved, right? And so, how I make a 20% commission, if you're thinking about that same example that I just used there before, is let's say a wholesaler or a homeowner has a property that they're looking to sell for $40,000. And the first thing that you want to ask him is this is, hey, can I put my commission on top of your price? Is that okay for me to do? And try to sell it to one of my buyers because I've got buyers for this property. And 99% of the time they're going to be like, heck yeah, yeah, put your commission on top of my price. Then I don't have to pay you a commission out of my price, right? I want 40 for the property. And if you can get more and pay for your commission, go for it. That's awesome because the last thing they want to do is start haggling with you over commissions, and now they got to pay you a 5 grand commission or something like that, and now they're only taking home 35 because you sold it for 40, right? So that's the important step to do up front. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the property, so the 40K property, and you're going to run some numbers on it. Like what is the ARV of the property? And the typical formula that investors are looking for is they want to be all into a property at 75% of the ARV. So let's say in this example that the ARV is $100,000. So after this $40,000 property gets fixed up, the ARV of this property is going to be $100,000. It's going to be worth $100,000. And so any investor is going to follow this formula of the maximum allowable offer is equal to ARV times 75% minus the repairs. Okay. So let's think for a minute here that this $40,000 property, it's a little 2 bedroom, 1,000 square foot house. It needs $25,000 in paint and carpet and maybe some kitchen updates, some bathroom updates, some simple stuff like that that needs to be done to get it to the $100,000 property. In the seller, for whatever reason, they don't have the time or the money to invest in it, and they're just looking to sell it for cash for $40,000. So let's do our formula here. So we're going to take the ARV of 100 times 75%, which is 75 grand. And now we're going to minus that repair cost, which I said was $25,000 to fix it up. And we get to a number of $50,000. Now what I do is I take that $50,000 that the investors are willing to buy it for, and then I might subtract the price that the seller is wanting for the property, which is the 40. And now I have that $10,000. That is our commission potential on this property. And so how I structure this deal is that I asked up front, can I put my commission on top of the price and be able to shop it to some of my buyers? They said yes. So then I bring them a form that says, here, this is going to allow me to show your property at $50,000 is the price and $10,000 is my commission, netting you the $40,000 that you said that you wanted. Now, I'm not representing the seller. I'm not the listing agent. This is really critical here because as a listing agent, if I was representing the seller, I cannot basically list their house at 40, sell it for 50, and keep any excess. That's called a net listing. That's an illegal thing to do. But what I can do is let the seller represent themselves as a for sale by owner, which they're doing in this scenario. And then I can come in with my buyer, and that for sale by owner is going to pay me a commission if I sell to my buyer at the price that me and the seller agreed to. And so they'll sign this document with me that says I can market it at 50,000, pay a $10,000 buyer's agent commission if I bring the buyer. And now I can go and show my buyer this $50,000 house and let them know that, hey, the seller's paying all my commission. So you don't have to worry about my commission at all, which is amazing for your buyer, right? They can finance that commission into the price if they're financing it, or they could just pay the 50,000 and not have to come out of pocket any additional money for the commission. So in that scenario, right, the $50,000 property, I'm making $10,000 of commission. That's a 20% commission. And that is very easily done by taking this concept of wholesaling, putting on your investor agent hat, which we teach you about in the investor friendly agent book, and doing this thing ethically and legally, right? And so now if there is a problem at the property, let's say I know that the roof is leaking or something, or the foundation's cracked. I actually, because I'm representing the buyer, I am legally obligated to disclose those things to him, which I will do, because the last thing I want to have happen is my buyer to lose money buying this deal that's going to ruin a relationship, a reputation with me. And I want them to make money so that they come back to me over and over again and buy multiple properties with me. The beautiful thing about working with an investor is one investment property doesn't change anybody's life, guys. Like investors are looking to buy multiple investment properties, many times multiple per year. And these can become some of the best clients that you've ever had because it's repeat business, right? The average homeowner is moving every 10 to 12 years right now. So when you do business, when you build up all this trust to sell somebody their primary home, you have a shot at getting repeat business 12 years down the road. With an investor, that could be 12 days from now that you end up getting another deal for them under contract. So it's a beautiful way to use your license to work with investors, make higher commissions, make wholesale type commissions, but doing it in an ethically and legally way that makes everybody involved happy, including yourself, with collecting a larger commission. So that's the topic today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to learn more or schedule a call with me, I'd love to work with you and see if we'd be good to partner together. Go to joincashflownation.com. There'll be a link on there to schedule a call, and excited to talk with you and work with you on your business. So have a blessed week, and talk to you soon.